Hey now, everybody. Hey now. Welcome to, ladies and gentlemen, a brand new edition of Round Table Willie. And believe it or not, our special guest today is the one and only Damian Mitchell.
Hey now, man, y'all are so nice. Thank y'all.
Hey now, welcome to the studio. I ask everybody that comes in here, I'm like, hey, what do you think?
I'm impressed. Like this is a nice ass setup. Like, I mean, I had seen pictures and stuff, but when you're in it, and I've seen a couple of y'all's interviews already, so it's like I'm sitting here looking, okay, where are they in where are they in the studio? Like, where is everybody sitting? Now we're putting names and faces and everything. It's like, okay, this is nice. I enjoy it. Like,
this is it, baby. Cool. It's nice and relaxed.
It's
very comfortable. By the way, we've got alcohol for you. Normally, we're not the one that brings the alcohol. It's usually the guest. But we were like,
oh, that's on me.
No, it's 4:00 in the afternoon, so we were like, well, there's no need to do it because nobody's going to want to drink. And then Amy says, y'all want a beer? And Damian's like,
what you mean? Like, my clock always says shot o'clock. Like that's how I operate.
So we've got there's this whole Bud Light. Did y'all ever on Jocks? Did y'all ever talk about the Bud Light fiasco?
No, we were too busy drinking them still. So I guess
nobody cares.
No, yeah, beer's a beer.
Are they a sponsor on Jocks?
They were at one point in time.
Oh, okay, but they're not anymore.
No.
I'm going to be honest. It's not really that big of a deal to me. I get it, and I understand most of our audience has sworn off Bud Light. Michelob is in that same Anheuser-Busch deal, are they not?
I have no clue.
They are, okay. So it's whatever. I mean, now they're the official beer of the UFC, so it's kind of like
okay.
I feel, hey, the Bud Light had a couple people mess up, signed up a trainee, and they got they lost a lot of money. I think we've punished them. Can we just not come back around and be like, whatever? I mean, Bud Light's not even that good, but
and that's the thing. Like, I didn't really care at that time. I was like, damn, is the beer cold? That's all that matters. Like, I just think a beer that's cold is a pretty good beer. I care less what's on the label.
I'm a craft beer myself.
Yeah.
Are you?
I like the fancy stuff.
But with
get
craft,
drunk quicker.
You can't drink a lot of them. Like, and maybe I'm past that age anyway. But it used to be for me. I'm like, I need a beer that I can drink 12 of them in like 3 hours.
See, I say that at 27. Like, I'm kind of in that boat at 27. It's, I mean, I'm cool with knocking down a 12-pack, but also, I mean, 3 or 4 of the craft beers can get me.
Well, you get a 6-pack of the craft beers, and you're huge.
Man, if I'm knocking down 6 on like one night, if I'm knocking down 6, it's
Tony Gump, how many beers in one sitting have you had in your life? Like, what's your record?
For just beers, not any type. I would say in one sitting, maybe like 15, 14.
I'm so proud right now. It makes me happy because Tony's not a drinker, so that's actually an accomplishment.
Yeah. No, I've had fun with it, but I just don't drink anymore.
Now, Bert, I told you to wait to open the beer until the show started. You can go ahead and do that now.
Okay.
The show started.
Hey, you want to know what my record is?
What's that?
22. I've drunk 22 beers in 4 hours.
And see, like, I was a late bloomer to beer. Like, I didn't start drinking beer till I was, like, thick in college. Like, I mean, kind of just, it just wasn't my thing. It was kind of like a taste. And it was kind of like I guess my taste buds had to grow up a good little bit before I dove into it.
Yeah, it's an acquired deal. When was this 22 beer fiasco, Joe?
Yeah, that doesn't sound safe, bro.
I was 18.
Am I true?
And we were just driving around.
There you go.
Okay. Oh, yeah, the statute of limitations are up. Like, you're good.
We had, go ahead and pass that to me.
When you live in the country, just getting drunk is pretty much all you can do.
Mm-hmm.
We also have these, by the way. Amy brought these. These are actually cold. Did you notice that?
I didn't.
You were the one that asked for this.
Right, and
I'm
that's
not
why I was
drinking Fireball. Not
like,
necessarily.
see, I didn't want to, rip the plastic open, but I mean, I thought crack open the beer first, and then we'll gradually get to the Fireball because I needed something to put with my Mountain Dew anyway.
Just rip it open.
Just rip
Go
it
ahead.
up.
You want to.
I mean, I
do it.
Like,
just do it.
Before you do Fireball, Amy, can you grab us the Taylor? What is it? Taylor Port? Was that what it's called?
As long as it's not Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift Port. This is called Travis Kelce wine. It's So this is what Angry Carrie brought last night, and or last time, and this is something he said. There's a TikTok challenge where it's called the Taylor Port Challenge, and you see how much you can drink without falling out. Which I don't suggest for anybody, but we drank this last night because he was a guest, and we didn't want to tell the guest we didn't want your booze.
Yeah.
So I take a swig of that.
Yeah,
and
go
just
ahead.
Let us know what you think.
Oh man, so this is the kind of party that we're in. Okay.
Yeah, just try it out. We just need your opinion on it. What do you think?
Sweet.
Take another swig. Go ahead. I dare you.
18%. But
Like,
What
we
are you,
got
a wimp?
Fireball, wine, beer.
Let's not mess the guy
That's
up.
what I'm saying, man.
Besides, this is a souvenir.
The sun is still up, y'all. Like, I mean, like now, if it's about 10:30 at night, oh yeah, we turn all three of them to the back of the head. But
This
right now,
is-
damn it, let's ease into it.
Our souvenir Angry Carrie signed
That's pretty good,
this.
though.
Yes.
And so we're gonna have to find something. You might have to give us your jacket or something you can sign that we can leave in the studio. But
Yeah, we do need to
this,
we need to crack up that Fireball though.
after he had us drink this, it was he said, "Yeah, my friend in Mountain Brook told me that it's not for drinking, it's for cooking." And so, but I mean, we drank it last night. We're not
Yeah,
dead,
that's what I'm saying.
so-
Like, I thought wine was meant to.
Yeah, had a good little kick to it. I mean, it was like smooth, and then you're like,
Right.
oh, hello.
maybe it's it's like drinking vegetable oil. Yeah, you can take that, Amy.
There we
But Amy, the vape mom, is over here doing our dirty work.
Good land, look at her chugging it. Go, go, go.
That's what I'm
Oh,
talking
my
about.
gosh.
No.
We Tony's like, no, don't do
Oh
that.
boy.
Now she's hitting the fireball. She chugged it.
That's
Oh,
what I'm
my
talking
God.
about. That's what I'm talking about right there.
Man.
Hey,
Oh, my
we
God.
turned this thing into a party,
So
baby.
we've had so far in here, we've kind of got this hodgepodge show thing where we have Roundtable Willie on Mondays, and then later in the week we do an interview.
Okay.
But what it's kind of turning into is the interviews are almost identical to Roundtable Willie, so we don't know how to differentiate those two shows. But we're about to start implementing hot takes, which is like 30 minutes of Andrew McClain, politics,
Yes.
Oh, God,
whatever.
politics.
Does that? Are y'all scared of politics over at Jocks?
No, I wouldn't say we're scared of it, but it's like,
It's too much.
man, it's football season, man.
I want to talk about football.
You damn right.
No,
Like,
no
you-
politics.
You damn right, man.
Let me say this, and I said this to Valerie Vining a week or so ago. I said, when I come, and you're the exception in this because you're always having a good time.
As always.
But the rest of the sports guys, like when even in running into them in the hallway, they seem to be serious 95% of the time. And it's okay because when Tennessee's playing and I'm at home, I'm all business. So I get it. But I look at the politics side and I'm like, we should be the grumpy old white guys
That is
over
true.
here. And yet you go over to the jock side and it's like locked in, serious business, especially during football season.
Yeah.
Is that an accurate?
But no, it comes with being great, though. Like, it's kind of like Nick Saban doesn't smile often.
No, he doesn't.
And I mean, the results are kind of there. It's kind of how it is on that side. But I'm more of, it's like a locker room. So you kind of just know your teammates. You kind of read them or how they are. I'm the one that's like, whether it come hell or high water, we're going to laugh. We're going to have a good time because that's what I'm here for. Because the last thing I want to do is show that motherfucker miserable. Like,
yeah. Well, that's the reason. No, you can cuss. It's fine.
Okay. Like my fault.
Well, this is the reason that you're the only jocks person we invite over to our show.
I appreciate
because
it.
We're afraid of everybody else, actually.
Well, I mean, I think y'all are in elite company.
And
If I do say so myself.
I've got to know Landrum a little bit.
Love him.
because he goes to Mandu, but I don't really know anybody else. I talked to Greg one time, and it was like when I.
So what would you like to know about him?
I
I mean, I work with him every day, so I'll start from the top.
I don't need to know anything. I guess
Ryan's
I
the
think I
boss
know
man.
enough.
He signs the checks. I'm always gonna be on his side.
I think I
Always.
know enough about Greg, but I met him when Murphy brought me up there when I was doing kind of my interview before I started.
Yeah.
And it was during that, like, the most awkward stage of my hair growth. And I was wearing Tennessee, and he goes, "Oh, God." And so
Now, that is serious.
That was not just the first impression, but the only impression. So I'm just like, I just steer. I see him in the hallway. I'm just like, go the other way. I don't want to
don't be.
explain myself.
He says good things about Tennessee
Does he?
occasionally. Just
not
not
often?
the third Saturday in October.
It's just
not
not-
that week. But
not
other than
that
that, no. It's pretty fair.
So let's talk about Damian.
Let's do it.
I think everybody kind of knows where you're from. You're from
Maplesville.
Maplesville, which is there's a large community of male ladies there that love some John Bird.
Hey, attaboy JB.
It is a curious thought to say, who is loved more in Maplesville? Is it Damian or is it John Bird?
There's no question about that.
You think it's him?
Oh, fuck no. No.
I mean,
I
it would
love
be.
him, but no.
I guess it would be. It would depend on who you poll. Maybe.
I mean, it'd still be.
Are you the pride of Maplesville?
I was up until I'll probably say this year. Nathaniel Watson, linebacker from Mississippi State. He's the bell cow. Like,
do you have
he's the breadwinner?
Do you have any like memorials? Maybe photos in the high school. Maybe a trophy in the case.
I know there's a picture in the field house. I don't know if one of my jerseys is hanging up though. I think I might have gotten those all at the house. My home in Maplesville. But I think that might be the only thing. I think it might be the only thing.
They should do more. They actually should rename the school as DM6 County School. Tri-State.
Damian Mitchell
School
Elementary.
of Tech.
Yeah. Damian Mitchell Elementary. But no, like, see, one thing about Maplesville, man, like, to me, and I think one of the coolest things about being from a small town, it's like, I have no, like, I'm not going to say I don't have an ego, but it's hard for me to have one because, to me, until you prove to me that you're a shitty person, like,
yeah,
I give everybody the benefit of the doubt. I just want people to treat me how I would treat you. And being from a small town and just accomplishing everything, because I thought Birmingham was a big ass city when I first got here. Like, when I got to Southern, right? And then, like, after being up here for a decade, it's like, okay, well,
it's just like swole up Maplesville.
No, I wouldn't. Maplesville, everything closed at 8:00 in Maplesville.
I
know stays open pretty late around.
And
here.
I'm going to be honest, I don't know a whole lot about Maplesville. Tony, you want to Google that and let us? We're going to look at some photos of Maplesville, and it's not just for me. I want the audience to know.
Like, absolutely, man.
Because Maplesville is a large part of your persona on the radio. I mean, it comes up. You talk about your high school days and everything else, and so being the pride of Maplesville, we need to know. Now look at this website.
Not even gonna lie, didn't even know we had a website.
That is a small town website if I've ever seen one. Welcome to the town of Maplesville, Alabama. Thank you for your interest in our town. The town council and I welcome you to our community and invite you to support our local businesses. What kind of local businesses y'all got there?
I mean, we got the Mexican restaurant. We've got shout out Valley Grant. Hey, shout out Valley Grant Mexican restaurant. It's pretty damn good. We got supermarket, Dollar General. We opened up a Family Dollar / Dollar Tree.
Nice.
Yeah, that's been in transition as I've been coming back home these past couple months. Trying to think, what else do we have?
Tony,
Chevron. They got Subway.
Go back one page and then click the images tab on Google.
Oh boy.
And let's just see. Let's see what Maplesville's looking
Let's
like.
see.
Oh, y'all look like y'all got a big oh yeah, that's what I thought Maplesville was gonna look like right there.
Well, I mean, that's kind of like the downtown area. Look at Roman right there with the hat on. Roman Hurd.
Right here?
Who's Hurd's Barbecue.
Okay, pretty good barbecue joint.
Hell yeah, man! What? Hey,
let's see.
I hope Roman and Shay see this. Like, I'm telling you, they put their whole elbow and foot, elbow, all of it in their barbecue. Shit's off the chain.
So yeah, you won't be able to click those pictures over on the right side, but go down to the football picture there. That's not Damian, is it?
Hell no. Like, we had a Nike when I was there. That's
what'd they swap to?
Adidas. Yeah.
If it was a picture, Damian wouldn't be on his back. The other guy scoring a touchdown or something.
He said,
nah, dog.
What position did you play
in high school?
Yeah,
running back. I was a tailback coming up. Tailback and free safety.
In a Birmingham Southern?
Receiver.
Okay.
Yeah, had to learn how to operate in space once I got to college.
I should know all this, but
it's all good.
That's awesome.
The thing is like whenever
the post office up there.
When we decided to start bringing you on the show, you were obviously on a different show. You were on News and Views.
Yeah.
And that show got kind of shaken up. And so I was like, well, Dale Jackson's not going to bring him on because, one, he's not in studio and blah, blah. You know, it's going to be complicated. Dale's only got an hour. I didn't feel obligated. I felt honored to be able to steal Damian from News and Views. And then I also got to steal John Bird Plays the Guitar.
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Which
so it's like a package deal.
Put our own little spin on it.
So we're like Florida Georgia line at this point, right?
Yeah.
I'm with it.
Did you ever get in trouble in high school? Oh, here we go.
What you mean?
Yeah, hey, listen.
What do you mean by trouble? I'll put it like this. I never had any quote unquote like disciplinary things because I was just like I always did my shit. I always did my work. But I entertain. Like, I need fun. I need the juice. I need the energy. So I was more, they say I was a quote unquote class clown, but I also had some of the higher grades in the class as well. So
that's
I
rare.
got shit done. Like,
that's rare.
Yeah, like I'm all for shits and giggles. Like, you can have as much fun as long as the work gets done. I've always believed in that.
He's looking pretty pimp in that picture up there.
Yeah, I think you got that one on social media.
Yeah, that's my profile picture on Twitter.
Oh yeah, that's
that's a
actually
good
his
one.
Twitter account.
Yeah, like my position coach was saying some dumb shit, and I'm like, what? Like,
Check out that
Okay.
picture a second from the top left. Look at this.
there you go, man. Back when I had the fro.
Whoa, look at that.
Look, back when I had the fro.
Why am
That
I
was during
thinking
the
like Belle
pandemic.
Biv DeVoe or something?
Hey, don't get me started on New Edition, man.
That was wild.
Oh,
That
boy.
was before you had your own show, is that right?
Yeah, man, that was in the infant stages. That was me like figuring all out.
How did you get to 99 or 99.5? How did you get to Cumulus? How did you get to
Man,
Jocks?
so I was working at a country club undergrad, and there was an event that happened one Sunday, and some of the guys from Jocks came in, and like I kind of I knew of them, like, and I was just like, oh man, like it's cool to finally meet y'all. Like, it's cool to just put a name with a face.
You're a big
and all this
fan of
stuff.
the show or the station at that point?
No, not at all. I hadn't even.
You
like,
weren't even listening.
weren't even
You're like,
listening,
hey,
dog.
nice to meet you. I don't know who the hell you are, but
No, I knew of them. I just never like put the name with the faces.
Right.
And then so we were shooting the shit, and they told me that they had family. One of the guys had family in Maplesville. I was like, oh, like, who is it? And they named the name, and I was like, I'll be damned. Like, I played with him. Like, what? That's your nephew? Okay, cool. And they're like, all right, so what did you graduate in? I was like, graduating to media and film studies. Like, I'm just looking to get into the business. And they're like, oh yeah, we got a producer spot opening up in the next couple months. We'd love to get you in front of our program director and just have a conversation.
nice.
I was like, cool. Like, what time I need to be there? They're like, we start at 6, and if you could be there at 6, cool, just to see how the show goes and everything. And
You had no intention, like you didn't really think anything about radio? You weren't
No.
taking any broadcasting classes at Birmingham Southern?
besides the stuff I had knew in college, I had no idea that
Man.
radio was going to be a calling for me. And so I get in there. So this is towards the end of July 2019, and I went in there for the first time August 1st, and sat down, talked to Haney, and Haney was pretty much like, so when can you start? And I was like, I guess tomorrow. I guess shoot, I'll see where it goes from there. And since August 1st of 2019, man, I've been there.
2019.
Yeah.
So you went through COVID and all that stuff with it, too.
Literally, the first 6 months of me learning radio went completely out the window when March 2020 happened.
Yeah, because everything changed.
Everything changed. And I'm sitting there asking, the boss man, like, hey, so, like, what's going on? And they're looking at me like, motherfucker, I don't know. Like, we're figuring this thing out along with you. So,
man.
but no, it's been cool, though. Like, I will say, when people ask me would I, like, stick in radio, absolutely. Radio's fun.
Yeah,
and
it's
I
a lot
like
of fun.
I like the programming side, I like producing. It's just it's almost like coaching, and you can look back and have just a blank canvas, and then all of a sudden, and I take this to Tennessee and Josh Heupel, how you can spread something can start off as just an idea and work its magic organically, day by day, week by week, into growing something that you didn't even like realize what it is.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I look at radio.
I think about it, and you're in the position right now that I would have killed for when I was your age. Because unlike you, I wanted, since I was a kid, it was my dream to be, like your dream would have been, go to college, play football or whatever. Mine was to be on the radio. And when I was your age, I was spending my days going to stations like ours and others and begging for an internship, where I would get turned down because I don't have any experience and I'm not in school and blah, 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 blah. And it was just time after time after time. And I'm like, dude, if I could have been in the business at your age. But if I really think about it, I'm glad it happened when it did, because not only would I not be in this situation and maybe not have a John Bird, but I probably wouldn't be doing the show like we do the show now.
Yeah.
I would have grown up as a different, in a different way in how I view a show needs to be done.
Dude, like, and I can be completely candid. I'll admit, at 23 years old and not realizing the magnitude of where I was at the time, I was just like a fucking rock star, dude. Like, I was like, man, I can go to these remotes. Like, people damn near worship the ground I walk on when I walk in this bitch. I'm like, damn, y'all really do listen to it, boy.
Yeah.
Okay, like, all right, I see where this thing could go. But then it got to a point where, I mean, we're in transition, and then, insert Greg and Cole, and it's like, oh, this is fucking massive. Like, okay, not only do they know who I am, they're expecting things from me every single day. So
Right.
I don't take it for granted. And I think up until probably like 25, 26, I kind of was, because it's just like, man, I only got these 30 seconds. I started off doing traffic. Like, I started off doing traffic. And
I remember that.
That's what I'm saying. People were remembering things I would say off a 24-second traffic report. I'm like, damn, all right. Like, they really hanging on.
Right.
So when my role started to increase on the jock side of things, and then they really pushed it into me of like, hey, man, like, you're not just along for the ride.
Yeah.
Motherfucker, you are in the seat.
We
like,
got you buckled up.
oh, yeah, like, you got to get with it. So
Man.
a lot of it was just like trial by fire. And like, to me, I think experience is the best teacher. Like, you have to go through it in order to know. And if you learn from it as you're going through it, that's when you can kind of look back. So so we hired a new girl over the summer, Molly Robinson, on the jock side. And like, she's 23. I'm 27, 4 years removed. And I just see how, like, she's asking certain questions. I'm sitting there thinking, damn, I wasn't even processing all this stuff at 23, and now here I am teaching her the ropes and like helping her along the way of like, hey, these are the things you need to look out for. And it's kind of like, damn, I really am a 4-year vet in this thing. Like, I really feel like it, because I can explain it to her in a sense, in a way that it's like, I wish somebody would have given me that game. And now it's like she has the inside track of really being somebody special. And like, to me, that's when I know I'm doing something right.
Yeah, you got it's rare to come at a business like this and have somebody that's willing to come to you and be like, throwing advice your way.
Yeah.
Because everybody's like, they're just doing their job, they're not in the business of training or teaching anybody. And it doesn't mean they're a bad person or whatever. It's just the way it works. And I was fortunate too, because Leland's kind of thrown me advice along the way, even though it was just kind of here and there, because we were always in different places, but to the point of an audience response to a station, we're in a very unique situation in the sense of live and local programming all day, or you guys go up until Paul Feinbaum.
Right.
I think we can still consider Paul Feinbaum local, since this is where he was at.
Right.
But like, this type of situation is not really happening anywhere else in the country. And the way this audience responds, I've only been at 3 stations. This is my 3rd. The other 2, I was at 2 years apiece, and I never experienced an audience response like this one right here with Cumulus. It's just like, we had an event at a pub Wednesday night, and we packed the place out for people just come to see us. And I'm like, you want to see us? Like, this is great. They had trivia night on Wednesday. Well, they canceled trivia because everybody there was there to see us.
See, that's awesome. Okay, so like, to that point, the first time I really experienced that was last year at Christmas, when people that had never like met me before.
Oh, our Christmas event.
Yeah, our Christmas event at Talk 9. I was like, oh, like, y'all are really like putting a name with a face, and like, people damn near nervous to come speak to me. I'm like, I don't bite, motherfucker. Come on, like, shit, I appreciate you listening. They're like, you've got to be Damian. It's like, I think so. Like, last time I checked,
Bird will tell you, man. There's something
crazy
about this audience. It's
they lock in.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, what is it?
But they can't find me a woman though.
Yeah, that's what's weird.
That's the crazy part.
I had one listener text me one time, and he was like, I hope management is listening to this and knows you're trying to play matchmaker on the air.
Hell,
it's
management the same way. They like, hell yeah, Damian needs somebody to get them in the straight and narrow, because somebody's got to do it.
I said, this is his deal, man.
I'm going to go ahead and let you know it's going to be a strong woman to bring this one down. It's going to be a good one.
When's the last time you were in a relationship? Has it been a minute?
She got serious. Nah, the last committed relationship I was in is probably 2000. Was that 15? So it's been a while. I was a youngster.
What happened? I mean, was it mutual? I'm just wondering. Sorry.
I was young. I was young and dumb.
Yeah. Well, we've all been there.
I was young and dumb.
I mean, I was married for 12 years and got divorced, so obviously,
Damn.
you know, we all kind of mess up.
Nah, man, like for me though, like I've done a lot of like soul searching in the span. I tell you, I kid you not, me getting in the radio and understanding, like I said, the magnitude of who I am and what I've built and everything I've brought into it. There's a lot of things that, like, I was for a period of time I was still moving like I was in undergrad. Like I'm a pretty attractive young man. Like I have confidence has never been an issue, has never been a problem. But then it gets to a point where it's like, all right, you know, maybe you need to settle down just a little bit, young man. Like like it's funny when girls are telling me that, oh, my dad listens to you on the radio. I'm like, well, fuck, this ain't gonna work. Like, this go ahead and if anything your daddy might have said, if your father has heard me from 23 up until this point, you might not want to tell him that you're talking.
Yeah, thank God I'm single. Could you imagine with some of the shit I talk about on the radio? I told a story today about a girl who teamed up with a beer company, and they're making beer. They're brewing beer with her vaginal yeast. Okay? Think about that. Think about some girls like, hey, you know, I met Andrew McLean today. He's really cute. And her dad's like, you better stay away from that more.
But when I taste this beer, I'm thinking, oh, that tastes like, oh, what's the name, girl?
Yeah, wait till you find out what's in this Bigelow.
Oh, God. Nah, man, but, like, it's, to me, and like I hate to go down this road, but like being single now it's so difficult. Like it is so difficult.
It's got to be weird. I don't even know what it's like, and I just know it's weird
because like there comes a finite balance in between. You know, like to me, I'm focused on my career. There's things like I really want to accomplish, and there's things I really want to buckle down and make sure I get before I bring somebody else's, you know, daughter along with it and understand that. Hey, like I had a girl one time. I'm not gonna say her name, but
you sure you can say her name?
Nah, she trust me.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
No, like so I went out with her one night, and I tried to go to a certain restaurant. I tried to go to a restaurant and literally just kind of be low key because I know there are certain places I can't go because I know people are gonna be in there, and I'm like the last thing I want them to do is hear my voice and just freak out. So I go to this like little bar, and like I order a drink. I'm waiting on her. And, like, the bartender just continues to stare at me. Like, it's a dude, and he kind of just keeps looking at me. I'm like, bro, what? Like, what do you want? And so the girl kind of comes up. The girl that I was waiting on, she comes up. We're sitting there having drinks. And the dude finally walks up, and he's like, man, this may sound, like, extremely crazy, but are you Damian Mitchell? And I'm like, she's looking at me. I'm looking at her. She's like, does this happen often?
Yeah.
Like, kind of, sometimes. I actually thought I was on the outskirts away enough that nobody would recognize it. And I was like, yeah, man. He's like, dude, I listen to you every morning. I was like, oh, God. Like, here comes fanboy.
Which
is cool, but it's also like.
Yeah, it's flattering in a sense, but also it's kind of, I don't know. It used to be kind of awkward, but once you kind of figure out how to handle those interactions, it becomes much easier, and it's more flattering than it is awkward.
Yeah.
Because it took, and again, it goes back to this cumulus cluster, and the way these fans lock in, and they'll spot you in public, and they'll say something.
For real.
We had a situation, Trish and I, one time, we were at the grocery store, because it's getting to the point where it's happening more and more, even in the town we live in. We were in a grocery store, and we're shopping or whatever, and we notice a guy, and he's doing his thing on the shelf or whatever, but he keeps kind of following us up and down a couple aisles.
Yeah, that's what.
And then I walked away, and he goes and asks Trish. He goes, "Is that Andrew McLean?"
See, like,
she's like, "Yeah, go talk to him."
Right. And I tell people when I do meet them, I'm just as human as you are. Like,
yeah,
we're all the same people. A lot of people tell me, like, oh, you're actually a lot taller than they make you seem on the radio. I'm like, yeah, I'm only 5'7", y'all. Like, it ain't like I'm walking
You're
around
5'7"?
On a good day.
I think usually we're sitting down when I didn't know how tall you were.
You know how.
How tall are you, John Bird?
I'm 6 feet.
What about when you wear Ron DeSantis boots?
6'6".
Okay.
Ron
Fair enough.
DeSantis boots.
You ever seen Ron DeSantis' boots?
No, I can't say that.
I need to show you that. Tony, can we get DeSantis'?
Yeah, give me a second.
Here's the thing about Ron DeSantis is, first of all, he sucks as a politician. He's just not good. He's a great governor. He's just
Florida,
not good at
right?
anything. Florida, yeah. So he's obviously running for president. He's doing these debates and stuff, but he's walking around in these boots that it's like they've got high heels in the boots. They don't make sense. You see that? Look at that, Bird. Look at those boots.
Like it's an arch. Like
That's
it's a high heeled shoe.
like Barbie
There's no
shoes.
way that there's not heels. And look, yeah, right there. Because it's like, maybe I can understand the aspect of you want to make yourself look taller. You're more in command. You're running for president. And presentation is big, when you're selling yourself to the American people. But it's weird.
Yeah, like I mean, I'm cool with being 5'7". I don't have any hopes of like if I put it like this, if I was any taller than 5'7", I would have been doing a disservice for Birmingham Southern because I should have been in Auburn or Alabama somewhere playing if I was gonna be above 5'7".
What if we find you a girl that's over 6 foot?
I don't give a damn. I'll climb a tree. Like trust me. My first girlfriend was taller than me. I promise you, like that ain't never been a problem with me.
What's too tall?
If she fine as hell and fits all the criteria, I don't care what size she is. Like, I don't care. She could be 6'8". Like, yeah, baby. Like, I'm looking at the future because that's breeding ground. Like, if me and her were to sit there and make an athlete, I hope she get the height. I hope the baby get the height from her mama
Breeding
and the speed from your boy.
Trying to make an athlete, cuzzy.
Absolutely.
So, I'm thinking about what your requirements are, and we're using this for research purposes as we continue to try to find you a girlfriend. I'm going to go back and watch the tape and make notes.
Atta baby.
Requirements. One is probably gotta be able to take you home to the family.
Yeah, absolutely.
What's some of the other? Give me top 3 requirements
Top
for
3 requirements. Yeah. One, of course, independence. Like, I don't want you to want me. I don't want you to need me. Like, I want you to want me.
Right.
Because to me, if you're not going to, I need somebody that's going to fit kind of that thing of like, hey, babe, I gotta go to work. Like, I gotta go get it because I'm gonna be your biggest supporter. Like, you'll get that bread because I'm gonna get mine. Like, you have to have some sort of work ethic. And I mean, to me, like the whole cooking thing, like it would be a plus if you can. If you don't, so be it. I mean, I'm a bachelor. One thing I know I can do is survive. I can eat. Like,
he can order DoorDash.
Yeah,
don't worry about it.
It's a little expensive. So I ain't got that. My checks hadn't cleared that well.
We don't do DoorDash either.
That's
Too much.
ESPN money. I got ESPN Plus money.
Right.
But no, like I would say independence. And number 2, confidence. Like I like my women to know like she's the baddest motherfucker on the planet. Like I ain't gotta tell her. She just carries that energy, that aura about her. Of like I need a confident woman because. I mean, I'm gonna gas you up regardless. Like I'm like ask any of the girls. Anyway, but yeah, like that's no worries. And probably number 3, like a sense of humor. Like I don't like boring chicks. Like I've gone on dates and I can read the room of like, all right, she's not picking up what I'm putting up. Like she's got to be able to laugh. And
okay. So those are characteristics, but give me some tangibles. Like she needs to be working, right? Have it not just working, but have a career that she's trying to pursue.
Yeah, like she has to be able. There has to be something
that goes with the independent thing,
right?
Like you want her to be chasing her dreams.
Absolutely, because I'm not going to stop her from getting it. Like I'm not going to stop that, and I think that's kind of where I'm at now. Where at one point in my life, I was kind of very like selfish, I guess you would say, because I would want to do whatever I want to do, but how I want to move, how I expect certain things to go. But then I was being very considerate of my partner at the time. So I think like as I've gotten older, I kind of look for just like those intangibles. Like I like a girl that's encouraging. I want a girl that's like I want to. As crazy as it may seem, like I've always been attracted to female athletes, like the athletic background, because they have the mindset of this is what I want. These are the goals. These are how I want to get to them. And that's just kind of been my mantra of I would love to continue. Like I love when girls have athletic backgrounds. Like there was a chick at Birmingham Southern when I was there. She played basketball. And I was head over heels for her.
So if they had your top 3, your confidence, your humor, your independence, and was a freak of an athlete but looked like Leah Thomas, would that be a
this guy?
Would that work or no?
Nah, dog.
No.
Nah,
okay. I just wondered.
I don't need to see that Adams outfit. The only one that's gonna have one is gonna be me.
Well, I mean, she looks like Leah Thomas. She's not actually Leah Thomas. She's all female.
Nah, like see, like to me, like Dang, I'm really about to tell myself.
Tell it,
But,
baby.
like,
That's
no,
what this
man, like-
podcast is for.
Because I know how I was just growing up, and like I don't know what point in my life where like things just started to change and what I was looking for, or, like, oh God,
I
like,
think they call that
when I go out,
puberty.
like when I go out to places now, I try to keep my wits about myself. Because if you would have met me about 4 or 5 years ago, any time after 10 o'clock, I was like Batman. We are in the streets, like we are outside, y'all. Now it's like a very controlled, like, I mean, unless there's a special occasion going on the weekend, I am cool with kind of just going to like a lounge.
You
just
are
relaxing.
moving into this space of you legitimately want to settle down with somebody that's got it together,
Yes.
that you can take home to mom.
Exactly.
That like at our age now, John Bird is 60.
60, that's correct.
I'm 38. Tony's a few years older than me, and we don't like to go do stuff.
Right.
Really, we want to stay at home and do the things that we can do in our circle. And kind of this podcast is like being home doing what we want to do. So we don't consider it going out, but you're reaching that point in life where you need somebody to settle down with that can just go home at the end of the day. You want to come home to a woman that is smart, funny, doesn't look like Leah Thomas, maybe 7 foot tall,
Could be.
but she loves you and she's cooking. And she supports your radio.
Oh man.
Can I say though? And you were talking about getting into radio, people spotting you and stuff like that. Trish did not understand like where we were going. I was in radio, and actually, if it wasn't for radio, I probably wouldn't have met her. But I was at a different station, and we didn't have this particular audience that's so vocal and supportive. And it's starting to come around for her, where she's realizing, hey, we're really ramping up on the amount of people that are listening, and that we're running into that are listening. That kind of hit her Wednesday night when we did the thing at the bar. But she's fine with it. But it also makes her a little nervous because I'm so transparent on the show. Like, I'll talk about her business, and she's just kind of, she's just on pins and needles. Bless her heart.
And also, like, I mean, working in sports media, I will say, like, I've come across like beautiful women that work in sports media as well. And like, I always joke with Cole and Greg and them. I'm like, hey, you find a single ESPN girl, like, just plug me in, man.
They
Call
only
it networking.
they only put lookers on there, right?
For the most part.
I mean, y'all ever seen an ugly chick on ESPN?
I plead the fifth.
I mean, I'm talking about anchor wise. I mean, come on.
I plead the fifth. There's
one or two.
There's one or two. Not
Hey,
many.
well, we're not talking about like when SEC Network puts up a female announcer. That doesn't count. I'm talking about sideline reporters.
Nah, yeah, they're pretty.
Yeah.
Pretty top.
Yeah, so, Anyway, I think one day they'll find you one.
Yeah, I will say they speak highly of your boy when I'm not around, because once I start, because I'm the screener, so like once I screen the people,
You talk to everybody.
yeah, like once they're like, oh yeah, so you're the Damian. I'm like, yeah, what's happening? How's it going?
What's the male-female ratio on the show? It's pretty heavy men. I mean,
Yeah.
ours is majority men.
It's pretty thick. It's pretty thick. But I will say, like, going back to Molly has actually like done a good job of getting a lot of female listeners, and we have female listeners too. When we had our Jocks kickoff party back in August, there were a lot of female listeners in the house.
How long has she been working there?
She's been there since like the last week of August.
So she's still kind of new.
Yeah. She this is her first go around for the football season.
What show is she on?
3-man front. She's on there with Landry, Pat,
Midday?
Conrad.
Okay.
Yeah. She's from Tennessee.
How many people they got on that show? 4-man on a 3-man front. Change it to 4-man front.
3-man front just means 4.
That's cheating, man. Unless you're not counting your producer, which I would never do that. John Bird is a vital part of our show.
He is.
I couldn't imagine having a different producer. I've said this 100 times, but literally the entire landscape of my show would change if he dipped out one day.
Oh, absolutely.
Just because he's that vital to the show.
It's the truth. And like people like to me, and I always give John his flowers every time I get a chance to, but like to be completely honest, you have been like a very influential part of just like who I am as a person as well, because like you helped me grow. Like you've helped me grow in all areas of radio because you understand it from top down, from bottom up, because you've been a PD, like you've done like the programming side of things. You've seen the on-air talent. You've been on-air talent. You've also worked behind the glass, and like. To me, I think that's what helps me become a better host, because I've done it from just about every angle, just working up to this point.
Tony, make a note. Fireball makes Damian emotional. All right, so
I mean, it's
note
been a
to
while.
self, Fireball makes Damian emotional.
It reminds me of Maplesville,
shot.
man. Like when you talk about Florida Georgia line and Damian, all this is just a big like. Stirring pot.
Can we? I've never talked to you about it, and I know it's been mentioned 100 times. It used to be mentioned on News and Views all the time. Florida Georgia line. Is there some sort of rhyme or reason as to why that's your favorite band?
All right, so it starts off like this. I was never really a country music guy. Like it just growing up.
Even in Maplesville, you weren't country.
Rap, hip hop, R&B. Like it's all I knew, and I just automatically had the assumption that all country music sounds like, the 50s, 40s, like Burning Ring of Fire, all that shit. Like, it's not my cup of tea. Like, it's just not my cup of tea. And Florida Georgia Line came along, and, like, they bridged the gap of, like, oh, if this is what they call country, I can kind of dive into it. Now, that was my introduction. Like, that was my introduction into it. Was it a great introduction? Hell no. Like, I mean, I know for a fact, like, there were better country songs.
Was it Nelly jumping on board? A little country grammar and that country music?
I mean, Nelly had already done a crossover with Tim McGraw before then. Like, I knew that. Yeah. So, like, to me, it was like, oh, not all country sounds the same. This actually sounds like the homies I live around, because they're, like, we're putting up bonfires, riding four-wheelers. Like, we're, like, that's the shit I grew up on. I was like, oh, well, they're talking about it. So it was, like, the newer age. But then when I started going back and, like, Brad Paisley's Whiskey Lullaby. Like, I gravitated towards that and started going back to the Garth Brooks and things. It's like, oh, the shit ain't that bad.
And then you started backtracking and discovering new stuff.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
They were my introduction, but, like, that's what I've always rocked with. Like, those two, I don't give a damn what nobody say. Like, I look at them the same way I look at Lil Wayne. Like, when I think of just, there are certain Florida Georgia Line songs, like, I know exactly where I was when I heard it and everything. Like, I know exactly what girl I was with during this time. Like, I know like certain songs that I can hear, and they were the ones that bridged me into that. So, like, I'll always rock with Florida Georgia Line. I know they don't split up, but, like,
you ever consider that the Florida Georgia Line is responsible for you being single? I'm not saying it is. I'm just because I don't know. I don't know if women.
They were
like
there
that
when
or
I was
not.
in a relationship too. Like,
Well, yeah, they've been there for you while you're single, so I think you need to stick with them. They're the one helping you get through.
No,
you
really
ever
are, man.
thought about dipping your toes in heavy metal? Maybe a little Slipknot.
I mean, other than Weight Room, I don't know if I can just hop in the car like, hey man, turn on that Slipknot real quick.
Well, next time you do Man Do, tell them to throw some Slipknot on. Just see how it works. See
Is
if you
Creed
can crank up.
considered heavy metal or rock or like some?
I'm leaving. I can't deal.
I don't know what that shit is, man. I don't know what this stuff is, bro.
Yeah, no.
So, like, what
Creed.
is Linkin Park? Is that?
That's kind of like
So it's rock, but
you would call that kind of hip hop. Not hip hop. You would call that kind of new era rap metal core. That's what. It's not really metal, but I think that's the genre they put it in. Anyway, that's good stuff. You're on the right track.
Yeah.
So
27, man. Like,
I'm just
And it's
curious. Do you
fine.
listen to Snoop or Dre or Eminem or any of
grew
that
up on
stuff?
it. Come on now.
Okay,
The
sweet.
Chronic, like, come on, yeah.
Yeah,
Uncle
that's
Luke,
fine.
Just making sure.
hey, Uncle Luke down there in Miami. Come on down. Like,
my high school career was like 11th and 12th grade. I was balls deep into rap. Like
Okay.
I was wearing Vocal. You don't remember Vocal? It was Nelly's line of clothing back then in the early 2000s. That's how I was wearing that. I was listening. I was all in on Nelly. I was straight. And then, a couple years after I graduated, I started moving back towards rock where I started, and it was a weird time. It was a very weird time. But yeah, I was just wondering about that.
No, I rock with Florida Georgia Line, and that's the thing. Like, how most people are, like stubborn Auburn fans, stubborn Alabama fans. That's how I am with Florida Georgia Line. Like, I hear people when they say, "Oh, they suck." I'm like, I don't give a fuck. I'm still gonna get in the car and blast them. I promise you. Like, my shuffle button on my music, it's crazy. Like, it can get wicked in the car. Go from like Celine Dion to Gucci Mane to Florida Georgia Line. Everybody's like, what?
So you've been in the business 4 years. You've been working at Cumulus.
Yeah.
Who's the least fun to work with?
Least fun?
I like your willingness to just answer that. He didn't even say, I don't want to say that. I like it.
But I mean, I haven't. I guess technically I haven't like worked with a lot of people besides like my jocks folks, but I mean, work with.
No, listen, you don't have to answer that.
No, because I'm trying to think like.
Everybody's fine.
Yeah, I don't cook. Like, my paths don't necessarily cross with a lot of people.
Yeah, I asked Val when she was here who was the hardest person to work with in her career, and she actually named somebody. She's like, I think he's in Orlando, and he has a fine, but he was a jerk.
The hardest person to work with.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for.
He don't want to
probably
say it.
Cole.
Really?
Yeah.
Is he tough on you?
Yeah, but like it's like a coach-player relationship. Like, I would run through a brick wall for him.
Right.
And he would also do the same for me. But, like, we have, like, creative differences at times because he sees the game a little bit different from what I see it. And, like, I mean, there's an age gap, too. Like, he thinks a lot of the dumb shit I say is just like, who the fuck is this dude? Like, when I say something about Eli Manning, he loses his absolute mind. He's like,
so when he gets on you, it's about football arguments?
Yeah, I mean, of course, like little ins and outs too. Like, I mean, producing things. Like, like we'll cuss each other out and be, buddy the next play.
You know what's funny is most people would not be able to handle that in a workplace, but because you're a football player, and he's a football player, you view it in that way. Like, most people would not be like, no, I'm not. They get their feelings hurt and then quit or whatever.
Hell no.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I'm used to working with people from different backgrounds, different ethnicities, different everything, because like if we're all working towards the same goal, the same thing, my God, this just comes with it. Like, if we all thought the same, the shit would be boring.
That's pretty wild though.
Yeah.
I've heard people yell down the hall. I just didn't know what was going on. I was actually afraid to go check.
Well, it's literally the locker room. We'll cuss each other out, and by the time the on-air sign hits, boom, we are good to go.
John Bird, have I ever yelled at you? What would you do? I know the answer. I've never yelled at John Bird, but what would you do if I got to the end of my rope and yelled at you one day?
I would do my job.
Really?
Yeah.
You wouldn't get upset?
No. Now, Matt Murphy was kind of tough. There was one time I had to pull him aside and say, "Don't you ever do that to me again." And it frightened him a little bit, so he was,
Was that the only time, or did he have a habit of sometimes yelling at you?
No, I mean, he was very passionate about things, and he would just, go off the handle. And, after I had, talked to him, I would just kind of look at him and go, "Don't do that." And he would calm down. Imagine
now if you were still working with him and you did that, and you pulled him to the side, and then you took your man-do muscle and flexed it, and was like, "Don't
taking you
do
down,
that
boy."
Again."
Like you pull like a rock. Like, hey, let me tell you what we're not going to do, Matthew. I tell you what we're not going to do.
This is what we're not going to do. It's interesting. Damn. So everybody's been yelled at but me. And I'm probably the one person that should have been yelled at this point, just because of what we do on the show.
I'm surprised Dixon hadn't, like, cussed you out once or twice.
Yeah. I mean, he probably did when I canceled on our Christmas practice the other day.
Yeah,
and then the whole station had to cancel because I didn't show up.
So you blew it.
But it was known. I told Val like days in advance. I was like, I got a very important basketball game. I didn't know that I was the main character in the whole thing. And so in order to have it, you got to have the main character. So we had to reschedule that.
Understandable.
But it's whatever. I've never been yelled at. I've had bosses that have been worked in an industrial supply warehouse, little mom and pop, locally owned deal. So we sell nuts, bolts, drill bits, different hardware. And there was one guy that came in. I still remember his name. He came in and he I think he liked me. I think he felt like I was a good worker. But when things would go sideways, he would lose it. I mean, yelling and screaming, full-blown temper tantrum, throwing things across the warehouse. And finally, he left, and they brought a new guy in. We're like, "Oh, thanks. We don't have to deal with the temper tantrum anymore." It was the owner's brother. They bring him in. He's 10 times worse.
Really?
And he's yelling and screaming and pitching temper tantrums.
No, well, there's a balance to me, I think, between, like, to me, if you show emotion, that shows that you care, which I'm cool with. I understand. But there's also kind of like a line of, like, respect. Like, to me, I always respect any of the coaches that I've had. But as I got older, there are like certain things I'm like, hey coach, like I'm not your son, so like me and you are, especially like my position coach for a period of time, Cody Pearson, I love him to death. He was 26 coaching me at 21, so like there's kind of like
weird.
Yeah, it's kind of like one of those, I can say yes sir to you Monday through Saturday, but then Saturday night you're my beer pong partner. Like,
right.
Wait a minute, dog. Like there has to be some sort of boundary, because I'll be damned if you're gonna cuss me out on Monday for, you know, supposedly not hustling on the line, but like, motherfucker, weren't we both just up at 3 a.m. like 2 hours ago, like just shooting the shit? Like, wait a minute, big dog. Like, let's get it together.
What's the craziest thing you've done in college / high school? Like in just, I mean, did you get in trouble big time? Did you, like me? Me and my buddies used to go bash mailboxes, and we eventually got caught. We got in trouble.
I didn't do any damage, but
I mean, Maplesville seems like a mailbox smashing city.
No, I kept my nose clean around the house. Like I'm telling you, small town. Like it wasn't like one of those things I can go out there and act up. Like people around me know my parents. They know my sister. They know me. Like.
All right, so let's
I couldn't
skip
fuck
that.
up too much in high school.
Wait. Did you do any TPing of houses? Was that a thing for you guys?
Yeah.
Oh,
Angry
okay,
Carrie
so
thought we
yeah.
were a bunch of idiots when we were talking about rolling houses.
I've rolled a few now. Like
He's like,
it's got a little wicked now.
He said, in my neighborhood, we
Love you,
never,
Forrest.
you get shot for rolling a house. All right, so skip high school. Let's go to Birmingham Southern. Craziest thing. I mean,
there's a lot, dog. Like,
do any streaking?
Streaking? I didn't like. I used to show up to parties intentionally without a shirt. Like, if it wasn't socially acceptable to wear shirts, I damn sure wouldn't wear one. From like April till about midway through October, shit, I walk around with my shirt off all the time.
Were you the only one doing that?
At first. And they're like, wait a minute, this freshman little dude is just like, in every party I went to, I ain't give a damn. If I felt like one bead of sweat, boom, shirt coming off.
So was this subconsciously, was this a move to
it was very
get
Batman.
women?
It was very
to
Batman-ish
get attention
of me.
Yeah.
Because then it started like, oh my God, when I would be out. So I'm just trying to go to class at 9:30 and in the morning on a Tuesday. They're like, wait a minute, weren't you the guy that had your shirt off at the party? I'm like, whoa.
Hey, there's a shirtless guy.
Pretty much. They were like, oh yeah, like he's going to be the one that has a drink and no shirt on. And that's exactly what it was.
College is wild, man.
Extremely.
I didn't go to college, but it's wild.
It's crazy, man.
I spent weekends there soon after high school going to the Delta Chi house at Montevallo, which is where some of my high school buddies went. And so I'd go there and party on the weekend and like sleep on the couch or on the porch if I didn't make it to the couch.
Attaboy.
And it was so much fun. So much fun.
I've done some damage there at University of Montevallo. Yeah.
That's good stuff.
There's a certain lacrosse girl that I used to talk to back in the day, and
she's where?
She's in Florida now, but
you still talk to her
on occasion, just to check up.
What did she say?
Where does she stay?
Well, no, what does she stays in Florida? What does she say? I mean, do y'all kind of?
I mean, it's very professional.
Very, very professional.
Yeah.
Huh? Okay.
We've had our fun. Like, listen, that's
okay.
Yeah, we had our fun.
Okay. All right. Fair
nah,
enough.
man. Like, I shit you not, man. Like this. Like it's tough. Like I say, man, I'm like radio's Batman. I'm like radio's Bruce Wayne, because when I'm on air, I lock in, have a great time. But you know, when I'm off air, I like to have my fun, man.
Yeah.
I'm moving.
You're a wild shirtless man, Damian.
Not like I used to be, but I'm getting there. If I keep going with man, dude, yeah.
Let's talk about Birmingham Southern.
Let's do it.
We don't want to touch on this. And that's kind of everybody for the audience. It's not in Alabama or Birmingham, but Birmingham Southern is a college in the city, and it's fallen on hard times financially, and so they're trying to figure out how to keep the doors open. Damian has been on the forefront of this, trying to help get the word out, get the message out, because you're an alum, you played football there, and everything else. And it's a divisive issue. I don't know about, citywide, but I know within our audience, there's half that say, hey, let's help save this college, and then the other half says, no, let them be on their own. They're private, whatever, yada yada yada. but I haven't paid much attention to it. I've gotten my information from you and how this is all transpiring. So what do you think's going to happen? Are they going to be able to keep the doors open or no?
All right, this is about to be the most serious I've really gotten a chance to loosen up, because now I know I'm in a safe place and I can really say what the fuck
this is your safe place.
First off, with as shitty of a reputation as Alabama has had with education, the one time that you could really change the narrative of showing like, oh, we actually care about our schools. Like, we actually care about the people that are here, because now it's become political. It's like, oh, well, what impact has Birmingham Southern made? What the fuck do you mean what kind of impact Birmingham Southern has made? Like, to me, fuck the private and public school shit. Like, it gets to a point where it should be a common sense thing that you have an institution of higher learning. I'm sorry I couldn't get into Auburn. I'm sorry I couldn't get into UAB, Alabama. Like, I'm sorry that I was not athletically able enough to play at those schools. This school came to me. Like, these coaches came to me and was like, hey, man, you get up here, you can change your life. And granted, I don't give a damn if it's a private school or not. To me, you should be able – it would be something different if the state just didn't have the money. It's like, hey, like, we're struggling our damn self. But there's literally a surplus of like a pool of money for distressed schools, and everything that Birmingham Southern is going through it marks every single checkbox of like, how could you not want to? Like, to me, I never met Young Boozer day in my life, but I just think it's such a shitty way to just sit here and watch an institution that has done so much for so many people in the state, and not just the state, like just in the nation as well, because people are coming out of state to come here. Yeah. Like, it should be a common sense thing to do whatever we possibly can to make sure this school is fine. And like, to me, that whole private school, public school shit, like, that's just dumb to me. Like, it's a dumbass argument to me, because I've only been out for 5 years. I'm sorry I'm not a millionaire. Like, if I had the money, I promise you, like, I'd wipe it off and like we'll go about our day. But to say that, oh, they need to figure it out, they've got enough money, like, bump that. Like, obviously, if we had the money, we wouldn't be in this position. Yeah. And the pandemic, like, it threw everything for a loop. And like, to me, I just think it's a shitty representation of what this state has done. Like, just whenever politics, and that's why I kind of stay away from politics, because it's like, there's no end game.
That's dirty.
It's fucking insane. Like, it's absolutely insane, because it's like, you want us to give you some sort of promise. And then Kay Ivey, she's a Division III graduate. Like, hell, she went to Huntington. Yeah. That'll be the last time I refer to that school by name, too. Yeah. That's the other Division III school.
Is that the rival, Huntington?
Yeah. That other Division III school.
The H word.
Yeah, the Hawks. Then, like, you went to school there. You know what it's like to be a D3 product. We are literally going by our bootstraps, just trying to figure this shit out. But now you are sitting here like, oh, well, nah, we're not going to give them any money. For what? Like, what do you mean? We're an institute of higher learning. And, like, it pisses me off, because, like, I know what that school did for me. Yeah. And everybody that, like, that hated or loved me, like, they hear my voice. They know the impact that I have. If it wasn't for that place, y'all wouldn't even know who the fuck I am. And, like, it bothers me to my soul, because I love that spot. I love the black and gold. I bleed black and gold, and I will do whatever it takes. But also, if the only thing that's holding us back is money, we have a shit ton of it. We can find a way. We already don't have a fucking lottery down here, so, like, that's a surplus of money that we're already missing out on that probably could have roundabout helped us in the long haul. But, like, to me, we're so caught up in this old habits, these old ways, these old standards of living. It's like, the one time you have a chance to change the narrative of education in the state of Alabama, you're holding us back and literally watching us beg. And I just think it's a shitty situation to be in, because I know how stressed I was being an 18-year-old coming into college, not knowing left from right, not knowing anything. But I'd be damned if I was going to be up there at a school not knowing when I wake up the next morning if I'm even going to have a class to go to. Like, there are professors, there's coaches, there's faculty, there's all types of people that are going to be affected. And we're just sitting there just watching us they'll figure it out. Like, fuck that. Like, get with the program. Like, help us out. And, like, it's frustrating. Like, it genuinely is frustrating to be in a situation, because, like I said, it's been something different if we didn't have literally just a pool of fucking money just sitting there and not being able to help. Like, you're just watching us just beg. Yeah. And I just think, like, it's just, it just makes me mad, man.
I
It's
get
also
it, man.
disheartening too, like, cause like I said, I love that place. I love everything it's done for me, and just it'd be like we're trying our absolute best. I will say the city of Birmingham is doing everything they possibly can to prove that like we need Birmingham Southern. This place needs Birmingham. The nation needs Birmingham Southern, and I'll stand by that.
John Bird, you got any extra money we can use to?
I got $1 in my pocket. That's about it.
That ain't gonna work. Yeah, I think I understand your passion. We obviously don't have passion on that level because we don't have that vested interest. But what we do connect with you on that story is how dirty politics
It's
is.
insane, man.
And so, like, if I'd have never heard anything about that story and they say, Damian's going to tell this story, tell us if you believe him. I'd 100% believe it because I know exactly how things work. And Alabama's one of the worst when it comes to state politics. They're in the business of railroading us on a regular basis. So it sucks, man. But you know, all you can do is keep fighting the fight you're fighting.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, even if it turns out that this thing went south or they went under, at least you'll know that you did everything you could. And as I told you the other day, you probably inspire somebody else to, whether it's fight for Birmingham Southern, they may fight for their own cause that they're passionate about.
Yeah.
So it's a win-win situation. You're going to come out with a W one way or another.
I appreciate it, man. And like I said, man, I'll do whatever I possibly can.
It's crazy. John Bird, what do you think about that?
I agree.
I'll take it, man. I appreciate it.
Talking about politics, though, and I'm not going to get too deep into politics, okay?
Here we go.
If out of the presidential candidates that are running for the Republican ticket, if you had to pick one of them to sit down and watch a football game with and drink a beer,
Who the fuck is running? Like,
okay, so
like,
so you got a few guys. Well, obviously, there's Donald Trump. Then you've got Ron DeSantis, who's wearing the boots, which could be awkward at the football game.
okay.
And you're watching it at home. You're not going to the game with
Okay.
them. They're on your couch at your house. You've got Nikki Haley.
Who is she?
Okay, she's we're gonna take her out. All right. So Vivek Ramaswamy. Okay, we're just gonna say Donald Trump. You'll watch a football game with Donald Trump, which I bet would be fun. You notice we keep a picture of Donald Trump in here.
Yeah, like
It's actually his mugshot.
Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. Like politics, dog. Like until election time next year, I probably don't know who the fuck is going on. I don't know what the fuck is going on.
That picture in particular was a source of controversy, and I didn't even know it. I got that picture, and I put it up in the studio, the 99.5 studio.
Yeah.
When I did it, Val helped me hang it up, and then I ended up coming in the next day, and it was gone. Somebody had taken it down, and they printed a picture of one of the other candidates and put it up there.
That sounds like a Matt Murphy move.
And so, yeah, it was obviously a gag. But then the next day, the picture wasn't back. And it was like a week, and the picture never showed up. I found out from Valerie the other day that they took it down as a gag, put it in the prize closet to hide it just for one day.
And then when they went into the prize closet, it was gone.
No. When they closed the prize closet, it locked, and they didn't know where the key was.
Makes sense.
And so it sat in there for a while. Finally, they get it out. They go sit at my office. I'm like, okay, the bit's over, blah, blah, blah. I get the picture. I go hang it back in the studio. I come in the next day, and it's gone again. That's where the controversy
Can I call
starts.
timeout real quick? Is there like a pee break in between?
Yeah, you go pee. Me and
I appreciate
John Bird
it.
can,
I'll be right back, folks. I promise.
This is the first time. No, this is the second time this has ever happened. Does he know where the bathroom is? Have you ever
he'll
used
find
a
it.
bidet?
He'll find it. He'll see the buttons.
Do you
and all
sit
that.
when you pee? That's the question.
You
If
can't
you do,
hear.
you can use the bidet.
Now, I wanted to ask him a question because, like, everybody talks about you and how you're not, like, going hardcore on the radio all the time, and you talk about yourself and you do things, you know.
Right.
Right? I think you have to do that on purpose with the politics side of things with 99.5, just so that way everybody can even stand, because it's so serious now.
Right.
So they always talk, the jocks guys are always professional and serious. Well, they're talking sports. You can be as serious as you want, right?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I think so. It's just, I mean, these guys.
they're not coming on the air and talking about their anxiety and
and pooping habits and everything else.
Right.
I don't know. I think I'm just the outlier. I think I'm the exception, John Bird, because you don't hear a lot of people that are as transparent about their personal life as we are.
Mm-hmm.
I would dare say most conservative talkers, especially national talkers, get on the radio and do straight politics from the start to the finish.
Yep.
And so I've always been in the frame of mind that I want our show to be unique. I want it to be different than everybody else. Because there's a lot of shows out there, and I can name them off the top of my head, that sound like 10 other shows. You know?
Yeah, I totally get you. But knowing you, if you went hardcore every single day, it would almost be like too much.
Yeah, so. I feel like it'd be a disservice. I don't think I could put on. And part of it is the passion I have for radio. You know, the fun part of radio is part of why I wanted to get in it in the first place. So I gotta have both of it.
Right. John's got to use the restroom too.
Oh my! What is going on here? Oh God! Thank God Damian's back.
Here comes one.
I thought something bad was happening because John Bird started acting really weird just then.
Well, everybody's going through the drinks, so it's kicking in.
Right. Yeah.
Have you ever heard of the TV show Bad Hotties of Birmingham?
You told me about it a couple weeks ago.
I told everybody about it. I don't even remember who I told.
Yeah.
Hadn't found the tape on it.
You hadn't found the tape. Tony, pull up Facebook if you don't mind.
Okay.
It should be on my account. I
So
have
you
all
logged
my
in.
stuff logged into his computer. And then go to the search on the top left and then type in Bad Hotties. And click the... That's it. You can just pick one of those videos.
Okay.
So we can show Damian what Bad Hotties is. Go down.
Okay, let me see. Play it from the beginning.
Yeah, go to the next one down because
Next
I
one
think...
down.
Yeah,
Okay,
hit
one
the
second.
X. Go. Let's see. Okay, here you go. This will work.
Okay.
So Bad Hotties is a it's a show, like a reality show, and they take women. This is in Birmingham, by the way. They take a certain amount of women, like 8 women. They put them in a house and they make them do challenges over the course of several days, and they decide winners for each one of those challenges. If you lose, you get knocked out. And this, I've got to say, has been one of the most fascinating but poorly produced reality TV shows I've ever seen. And maybe I was so connected to it because it was in Birmingham, but it was something about it. Trish and I were locked in.
So
Even
Damian,
John
you
Bird
want to
enjoyed
watch
it. But we're just go out of that one because we're watching the same clip over and over.
Right.
Okay,
Like,
yeah.
I mean, like,
That doesn't really give it a lot context.
Yeah,
Let's see.
yeah.
Keep going.
All right,
Keep
yeah, this
going.
one, I
Keep rolling. Yeah, you can do that one. That one's the intro to the show, I believe.
Okay.
hey,
Oh no, this is the first or part of the first episode. So start that from the beginning. Play that
This
real
one?
quick.
Okay.
Yeah,
it's kind of fun.
All right.
and we might find your girl in here, Damian. She a hottie. She a
All
hottie.
right. I got to be careful with the music here. So.
No, I think that's probably royalty free.
Tough.
YouTube's not gonna be like, oh, he's using the Bad Hotties theme song.
Woo!
You're banned.
I don't know.
Hey. All right now.
There's a lot of twerking in the show as well.
I'm a big fan of those. I'm a big fan.
John did some twerking here the other day.
No, I don't want to see that.
Again, very poorly produced. They bring them in the audition process and have them give
She is
special talent.
fine.
You ain't got to sing the whole song.
She
The downside, Damian, was, again, poorly produced. They use a camera that's got a mic on it. They're not miking these people up. So a majority of the show is them all talking over each other, and you can't understand what anybody's saying. But I highly suggest, I think there's 7 episodes. I highly suggest you check it out.
Maybe this is where he can find the hookup.
No.
Yeah, these when they say bad hotties, they mean like bad. Like these are bad girls. We don't want to get you with those.
I'm a good balance between classy and ratchet, but that's a little. I ain't mad at that now. I ain't gonna be mad at that. I promise you that.
What
Okay.
what if the producer of this show was good looking? Would you date her?
Yeah.
I mean, some of the girl hosts are kind of cute, but there's a bad hottie. You're about to get a bad hottie chocolate starfish in a minute.
Look at that.
There was one. Yeah, let's go ahead and get rid of this, or people are going to cut the video off.
Like I said, you just gotta find the balance.
There was. Did you see any balance in there?
Yeah, duh.
There was one challenge in particular where we talked about this on a previous podcast that they had them dress up. They said, we're going out. We're going to the club. Dress up like you're going to the club.
Okay.
Then they took them out to the driveway, and they were like, just kidding. Y'all are playing a 5-on-5 basketball game here in the driveway, and you have to continue to wear what you're wearing. And I'd never seen so many titties flopping out. I've never seen panties that were twisted up and knotted up like I saw halfway through that game. Is they're wearing these short shorts, and I mean it's all up in the crack and the turned sideways, and it was fascinating.
I mean, I probably won't watch it again, but I mean, it's very intriguing. Like, it's very intriguing.
Yeah, it's interesting. It was a good project, I think, for those guys to put on. You probably, if you watch it, you'll recognize some of the spots around Birmingham that they go, because that's where it is. It's a bad hotties of Birmingham. But yeah, watch it if you get free time, or don't watch it.
Hey man, when football season's about to wrap up, I mean, I have some free
What's
time.
What's it like on the sports side when there's no football?
To me, boring.
Do you talk about yourself like I do all the time?
No, I mean not so much. Like, I mean, I'm locked in on other sports too. Like, because football is just something I know. Like, it's something I know I can watch. I know exactly what I'm looking at. Now, basketball, I was never good at basketball. Like, I was athletic enough to go out there and play, but I don't really understand like certain concepts and things. Like when they start spacing out the floor and all that stuff. And baseball, kind of the same. But I mean, to me, because like my passion is football, I can talk about it year round, but there does come a point where there's no football on, which I will say one of the coolest things about having these developmental leagues, like these spring leagues pop up, you're only having a short window without some sort of football action. So with us having the Birmingham Stallions around,
you could do an XFL, USFL show.
Yeah, exactly. So like we're continuing the football discussion. May not be as in depth because we're not just dialed in, but most of the time when football's over, yeah, I kind of get back on my Netflix, Hulu, and stuff. Kind of like I really have time to, like, I still got to watch season 3 Outer Banks, man. Like,
I don't know what that is.
Huh?
What is that?
Outer Banks?
No,
I've seen it.
John B. Sarah?
I don't know.
Like,
I don't watch a lot of stuff. I watch politics all the time, so I don't know.
I've never seen Outer Banks.
I've seen it with the wife, just a few episodes.
What's it going to take to get Birmingham excited about the Stallions? Because I really
They
want...
keep winning. Like, we're back-to-back USFL champions, and now since the USFL is done, we are the final champions for the USFL. But I do think that, like, they're going to merge with the XFL, and Birmingham has to keep Birmingham.
Because I got an email this morning about buying season tickets for the Stallion season, and I'm like, what do you mean the Stallion? Like, we don't know what's happening. What am I buying season tickets
Stallions
for?
are staying.
But the USFL is staying?
No, this team, the Birmingham Stallions are. Like, the XFL and the USFL merged.
So I would be buying tickets from the XFL?
I guess. I think
I
they might
don't
change the
think
name. I think they
they've-
might change the name of, like, just might be Spring Football League or something like that, or something to the spring where it's like, it's not going to be XFL and USFL. Whatever it is, it's going to be one thing.
thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I would prefer just keep calling it XFL and just put the Stallions
just
in
keep
there.
the Stallions in there. Yeah, I agree with you. And like it was kind of one of those things where like some of these cities that didn't have hubs already, they're kind of falling by the wayside. I think like four or five teams in the USFL.
There's 8 total.
Yeah, I think like 4 of
Four of
them
them had a home
aren't-
team.
Yeah, I don't think 4 of them are making it to the XFL. I guess you would say the merger. But yeah, Birmingham, yeah, they ain't going nowhere. And like I mean, to me, I think the Stallions have a lot of support because I mean, we go to Stallions games when the Stallions aren't playing, especially that first year. If the Stallions weren't playing, wasn't nobody showing up downtown.
Yeah.
But now since the Stallions have like their home base down here, yeah, like we support. At least the only game I didn't go to, I think was like this. I only missed 2. The rest of the time I was there.
I went to one game and they put the camera on me and I started doing the gritty And
I can imagine how
it was so clean that when I was going to get beer, people were stopping me. And they were saying, that's the cleanest gritty I've ever seen. No lie. Dead serious. Wish I had video of it.
Yeah, we're good. I think the masses are okay that we don't have video of it.
I'll show you one day.
I mean, I don't know how to gritty. I'm not a dancer. I know that may be surprising, but nah, me and dancing.
You never get in it. I mean,
it's not the best look,
but it's one of these things that could help on the woman front. I mean, if you're a good dancer, you're at the club, you could.
I'll put it like this: my hips work in other places.
Oh, hey now the ladies start pouring in.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, man. I ain't got to.
Oh God, I wish I
Can't
was
gritty
27.
when you're laying sideways.
Oh my God.
Damian does.
Listen, this is what I don't get a chance to do every single day. Like everybody knows me as a sports guy, which I am just as passionate talking about Tennessee offense as I am with anybody else. But like when I get to let my hair down, yo.
Well,
like,
listen, Monday, just go into work and be like, "Hey, ladies, Damian's about to hit you with a horizontal gritty. Come on." Yeah, I do. I'd say it on my show. I'll say it when you come on my show. I'll say Damian wants to hit you with the horizontal gritty. Horizontal mumbo. Mumbo number DM6.
Oh man.
We'll go with it. We'll see how it works. But nah, man, like I think like for me, as far as the love thing goes, man, like I'm still dating. Like I'm
You're talking to girls.
yeah.
Are you taking girls on dates?
The last one I went on was about a week or so ago.
Okay. See,
It's-
I'm
No,
over
like,
here
I'm-
feeling bad. Like
No, hell no. Like
we hadn't brought you any fish.
my thing is the girls / women now that knew me from like 16 to like 24, 25, they have this perception of who I was as a youngster.
Yeah.
And now since I'm over 25, it's like I'm really trying to leave that image behind
Yeah,
because they
you're
know
famous now.
Sure, I'm a
You are.
local celebrity. That's what they call me. But it's very evident that like the last impression that they have of me is probably not the most flattering that I've had.
No, that's the
Since
same way with me in high
right,
school.
like, as
Thank
I've gotten
God they
older,
know
I'm
me as
like,
the radio guy.
Can y'all forgive me for what I did at 21? Like my
Yeah.
frontal lobe was not like connected at that point. Like they were like two plugs miles away from each other. And after I turned 25, I was like, okay, a lot of the girls I've talked to, they've either been married before, they're having kids.
What about an older woman?
Oh, I'm a sucker for them.
What I mean, like right now, she's 40.
What about okay? Age ain't no but a number.
So 40, 7 foot tall. You don't care.
Yeah, pretty much.
You want her to be attractive. You
That's
want to
it.
be able to twerk like a bad hottie and be smart.
I mean,
and
that
funny.
helps. That helps. But
Okay, fair enough.
no, like if you ask any of the girls I've ever been with, that like I'm an open book. Like if you ask me a question, you're not gonna get anything but the truth. Like I just need to go ahead and let you know because there was a situation one time, and I'm really about to tell myself now, but I have no fear of this.
Best
girl.
of luck to you,
No,
my friend.
I have no fear of this girl finding out. But so went out on a date. I offered her. I was like, hey, you could come back to my place if you want to because her place is a little bit further down the road, and she had to work a little bit earlier. And I told her like I get up early, like I'm out the door before like the sun is even up. So I told her I was like, hey, I'll leave a key here. You just put the key up under the mat. So like you can stay, we can do whatever. Just whenever you leave out, just lock the door, put the key up under the mat. And instead of like to me, I'm thinking this is a friendly gesture, like I'm being nice, I'm being considerate. The first thing that comes out of her mouth is, "Oh, so how often do you do this?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" She's like, "Oh, so you just like you trust me enough to just leave your key up under the mat for me?" I'm like, "What we just did, I think that showed you how much I trusted you." Like, there's a like, if I can trust you enough, to be inside of you, I can leave you inside the house. Like, as long as you don't take my
Hey
crock,
now.
as long as
Hey
you don't take
now.
my crock pot and my air fryer, I think everything else is pretty
Man.
like self-explanatory.
Yeah, once you hit the gritty, you get the key, lady.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, why would I kick you out at like 1:30 in the morning? Like, hell, I'm about
That's
to suffer for 3 hours now because I like got to take a power nap before I go to work.
That's what all the other guys are doing, though. And like, see, that's what they don't know they're missing with you. You're such a gentleman and a loving person.
No, I'm a classy lover.
You're
I really
a classy lover.
I really am.
You're not gonna hit it and quit it. You're gonna hit it and give them a key.
I wouldn't say that, but
So
maybe when I was younger. No, in all seriousness though, like I am perfectly fine with being single as long as I possibly need to make sure I got all the bullshit out of my system, because I've been in 6 weddings now, and every single groom that I've talked to, I'm like, hey, bro, just let you know, this is it. Like, I need to know for a fact. This is the last time I'm buying the suit. This is the last time I'm renting this tux.
Yeah.
I need to know. Are you sure? Because I'm not going down this road again. So the next time I'm in the full blown suit, by God, it better be my turn. It better be my turn.
you will. It's right around the corner. I feel it.
I'll say maybe if I am still single. If I'm still single at 30,
Yeah.
there's going to be it's going to be hell to pay.
You ever thought about being gay? I'm sorry, I just asked everybody that question. I asked Dixon too. It's
And I heard it's
there's nothing wrong with it, you know.
No, I mean, no, I have no whatever floats your boat. It's just not my cup of tea. I'll put it like that. I prefer my
That's neither. It's fine.
I prefer my sexual preference of the opposite sex.
Yeah,
So
that's us.
it's all good. Hey, whatever floats your boat though. Love is
right.
love. Love is blind. Like, I could care less.
Larry Sinclair is one of my favorite people.
Who
So
the fuck
obviously,
is Larry Sinclair?
he's a gay dude. He's the one that blew Obama.
See, Andrew's still reminiscing from Angry Carey.
Yeah, we talked to Angry Carey about it last night. Actually, I told you about it today because
Yeah,
I showed
but
you the
like,
clip.
it's
He's just a fascinating character.
oh god.
You know, he's just a cool guy. I like him. We're gonna hang out with him one day. We're gonna bring him here.
I mean, he brought wine, so I mean, like, he's
Yeah,
good with me.
Oh, and Larry will be excited when he sees that Taylor port. He'll love it. I have to get another bottle of that.
Y'all are sick.
Obama. Okay, I'm not gonna do that. All right. Well, Damian, thank you, buddy.
Man,
I
thank y'all,
appreciate
bro.
this. This is good.
Anytime,
We got
man.
you a beer, 3 shots of Fireball.
Yeah. Well, I only had
And
2.
You only drink 2 of those? Oh, one of those is Amy. She's a team player. She always helps.
Did I do a good job, Amy?
Phenomenal.
Did I
Phenomenal.
say too much?
No, man. You did talk a lot, but that's why we brought you on here. You don't get to get this stuff out on, on the radio.
That is true. No,
And so
no,
that's why we
FCC.
have this.
FCC.
I thought you did fabulous. There you go.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, this podcast is for those people to come in here and say the things they can't on the radio.
That
This
is
is the
true.
whole reason for this.
I got you. So is this like, are we about to sign off? Can I do like self-promotion right quick?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
You
Hey.
do whatever you want.
Listen, guys, you can check this beautiful face and hear this wonderful voice every single weekday from 6 to 10 on Jocks 94.5. You can download the mobile app. You can go to JocksFM.com, Apple, Spotify. You hear our podcast for Morning Jocks from 6 to 7 with Damian Mitchell and Conrad Van Order. Also from 7 to 10 with Greg McElroy, Cole Kubelik, John Saber, and yours truly. As well on the Jock side, I also hop in with Andrew McClain on the line from, was it 11 to 2?
11:15 to 11:30.
Yeah, 11:15 to 11:30 on Fridays, and sometimes Mondays if Tennessee wins. But listen, I appreciate everybody here on the Roundtable Willie, man. This shit's fun.
That was so professional of you, what you just did.
That was
You
the
done
most
that
professional
before?
thing I've done today.
Good. We're here to be professional. This is a professional podcast.
Absolutely, man.
All
This
right,
is fun.
so we'll do it again.
Yes.
Very soon, because
Please.
this Roundtable Willie is a show where we rotate the guest. We bring in new people all the time, and so you'll be back, my friend.
Oh, I have no doubt. Like I'm already planning like my next interview.
There it
Like,
is,
I'm ready to be
baby.
here.
Damian Mitchell, Jay Bizzle, Tony Gump, and until next time, see you, cuz.